Caleb here, the founder of Patriot Training Center, and today we're talking about something that's super important for everybody that owns a rifle to understand. If you're going to be a rifleman, you got to know about this. It's mechanical offset and height over bore. Okay, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek into our rifle class. When people come here, I'm going to show you a little bit of the information that we share with them. So let's get into it. Okay, and I have pulled up our rifle manual. One of the big things that we do is we very strongly believe in giving people all the information that we can and making it as many different learning modalities as we can to make it easy for people when they come to our class to retain the information. Big part of that is we provide a awesome class manual to everybody that comes to our class. So this is like a sneak peek out of our 2-day Patriot Rifle course, some of the curriculum that we do. And this way, this is printed out and given to students during the class so they can take notes, but they have all the information they can go back and refer to when they train again in the future on their own time. All right, here is something that everybody that owns a rifle, especially for self-defense, home defense especially, needs to know about mechanical offset. And this is important no matter what distance you zero at. That's what's really important. No matter what optic you're using, no matter what sighting system you're using, no matter what your zero distance is, all rifles will have mechanical offset. And this picture, this illustration, our manual, I think explains it in the simplest way possible. Basically, you have the bore of your rifle where the bullet's actually coming out of, and then obviously any optic is going to sit some distance above that bore of the rifle. So that's height over bore. Typically with the AR platform, it's going to be somewhere in that 2 to 3 inch range. But depending on the optic you're using and the optic mounting system that you're using nowadays, higher height over bore optic mounting solutions are becoming more and more popular. So this becomes more and more critical. But basically, this is what we're talking about here. This picture explains it, and then a lot of our text on the page explains it. Now, so the key points here are that this applies to all rifles, all optic sighting systems, and that it applies to your rifle. So this height over bore you have to account for when you're at closer ranges. But the only way to figure out how much that applies and at what ranges those are is to go out and shoot it yourself. For 2 reasons, this is very, very critical, okay? Offset is crucial to remember when you're using cover and concealment. We have this excellent image here of Carter out on our range, and there's some nice illustrations here showing that even though your optic may show that you have a clear line of sight and you're aiming at the target and you think the bullet's going to go there, if you're ducking down behind cover, the bore of your rifle may not be clearing the cover. So you could put rounds into cover and not into the target, which is obviously not what you want. Okay, so it's extremely important for cover and concealment. And then it's also extremely, extremely important for home defense and other close quarters shooting situations. So again, this offset, this height over bore issue that we're dealing with, mechanical offset, that all rifles you have to account for are things that happen at close ranges. So everything within our house in a home defense situation is going to be close range. So that's why it's super important for home defense. And then there's some example pictures of some popular hostage targets that show how this could be a big deal. So that is the explanation. That is a sneak peek of the curriculum from our 2-day Patriot Rifle course and our awesome 100+ page manual that all the students get. I'm going to now shoot it over to Carter, who is out on the range, and he's going to give you an awesome live fire demo of how this actually plays out when you're on the firing line. So check it out.
Hey guys, Carter here with Patriot Training Center. Today I'm out here on the range and I want to talk to you about mechanical offset. This optic is zeroed at 100 yards. Now you're going to have offset whether you zero at 50, 36, 100, it doesn't matter, you're still going to have offset. You still need to know how to account for that. So with this rifle, it's set up, I have an LPVO, low power variable optic. This is a Vortex Razor Gen 2, 1:6. It has a ScalarWorks mount, so it's a little bit higher on the gun. So at shorter distances, your field of view and where your bullet meets are gonna be different. So if I put my reticle exactly on where I'm aiming at 7 yards, my bullet is gonna impact in a different spot. I'll show you what that looks like now. So at these distances, I'm actually gonna have to hold over because my bullet is gonna impact low. So I'm gonna shoot it at 7 yards. I'm gonna aim for the eyeball in this target and I'll show you where it hits. It should hit low. Okay, I kind of pulled it a little bit low too. But this was my point of aim. The shot probably broke about right here, but still you have about 3 fingers worth of offset. So if I'm taking a shot and I just aim center right here, I'm actually gonna be shooting right here. Well, that might not, like that's still an okay hit, but I really want to be in this ocular window and hit the light switch. So it's even worse if I'm down here, right? So if I'm going A zone and I hit them right here, it's actually going to be down here, which is a gut shot, which is not what we want. So you really have to plan on offset, and and take that into consideration. After you zero your rifle, you should verify where your offset is at different distances. So now I'm gonna shoot this like I normally would. On this specific rifle, I think of it like hitting them in the forehead wrinkles. So I'm gonna go, this is where I'm gonna put my reticle this next time, and we'll see if I can drop one in the occipital window. All right, so this is where I was aiming. I was aiming right here. So as you can see, I have about a 3-finger offset. So aiming right there is dropping them into the occipital window. That's fine. You can work with that if you know it. But the problem is people they zero their guns at whatever distance, then they never verify where their offset is. So they think they're just going to put their reticle in here and be able to shoot exactly where it's going to aim. Might not matter if this guy is by himself and you're really close, but what if you have to take a hostage shot at that 7, 10, even 15 yards? You really have to understand your offset, or else bad stuff can happen. So mechanical offset is super important. The way that you understand it is just by going and verifying where your gun's shooting, because it's going to be different with different optics. But that's why the way that I do it is I zero, and then I go verify my mechanical offset. So I'm gonna go to 15 yards and shoot a headshot, and we'll see. I'm gonna just aim center right here and see how far my offset is at 15 yards. It should get shorter the further I move back. Okay, now I'm at 15 yards. I'm gonna shoot around just center of the occipital window and see where it impacts. Okay, as you can see here, it's still, my shot broke about right here. So it is getting shorter, but I still do have some offset. So at this distance, you're still gonna have holdover. If I get out to 100, that is one reason that I like the 100, is because with the 223, there's not really any hold under, there's only holdover. So you only have to account for holdover. Once you get to about 85 to 90 yards, it gets pretty dang flat, and you're kind of just directly holding exactly where you wanna hit. And then once you get past 100, then you'll have to start holding over again. I like the 100-yard zero. The downfall to the 100-yard zero is it's hard to get a gun accurate, especially with red dots and things. People can struggle getting good group size, good data to zero on. With 50-yard zero, you are gonna have a hold under, so you do have to account for that. It's still a great zero. You're just gonna have to know out to that, from 50 yards and out, until you get to that around 200, you're actually going to hold under instead of over the target. So just some things to consider. But mechanical offset, not knowing your mechanical offset can be very, very dangerous if you're going to take precise shots with your gun. You have to verify at different distances what your bullet's doing. That way that you know exactly where it's going if you need to take those precise shots. If you want to come learn stuff like that and how to shoot rifles really, really well, then come out to Patriot Training Center. We'll catch you guys in the next one.